Hi, my name is Denis Mccaul from School Websites Ireland, and in today's video we're going to talk about the most important service that we provide to earlier settings in Ireland, and that's a Google Business Listing. What is a Google Business Listing? It's the information that Google will display when parents, like featured in the photograph here, will get a recommendation for your school. They go to Google, type in your school name and location when they're looking for information to contact you, or they may be looking for more information in terms of the services about your school before they decide to contact you. And depending on what information they find may influence on whether they contact you or not, and that will influence in the number of applications that you receive in a year. So the good news is that this information can be controlled, so you can tell Google exactly what information you want them to display, but it's done through a platform called a Google Business Profile. It can be quite complex to set up, and it takes years of experience to get it right. This is a service that we offer to preschools where we do everything for you. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can contact us and see the information all about this service on our website, www.swi.ie, that you'd see there on the bottom of the screen. I'll just remove those details so we have a bit more real estate to work with here while we're running through these services here. So this is the service page on our website. So what it says is Google Business Profiles help schools get more applications. So when one of your pupils' parents recommends your setting to a friend, many of them will then look up your school on Google, and our service makes sure that they find a professional Google Business Profile for your setting with all the information they need to take the next step and contact you. So two things will happen if somebody's going to look you up on Google. They're either going to use your school name and location, or they're going to type in a service that they're looking for and the location without mentioning your school name. So having a professionally prepared Google Business Profile will help you appear up in both those circumstances. So word of mouth is what's most important in earlier settings in terms of parents finding out about your services. So what will parents find when they enter your school name into Google? So when you get to the end of this video, what I would encourage you to do, and we'll talk about it during the video, is to go to Google and to just type in the name of your school and its location. So if your school name was Mary's Montessori and you were Macroom, just go to Google and type in Mary's Montessori Macroom and see what information will pop up for your school there. So they'll typically type in your school name and location into the search box. The information they find can vary widely. So I've looked up hundreds and hundreds of earlier settings in Ireland, and they can either have some good information there or none at all. So what I've typically found, I kind of put it into 5 categories. There can be either no information at all about the school. There could be the school wrongly marked as temporarily closed, which is the worst case scenario, and we'll be looking at a few examples of that. There could be other schools listed instead of yours, so they might have gone to Google to look up your school initially, but then when they type in your school name, and if they can't find much information about yours, they may be presented by Google with other schools instead, and that's not ideal for what you would want to happen. Or there could be a Google Business Profile there that's been partially completed by the school, where they might have entered their address and their phone number and not much other information other than that. So what we did was we spoke to a number of parents who had either currently have or had children in preschool, and we asked them whether they went to Google or not when they went to look up the school's first day. So the overwhelming answer we got from them was that yes, they were. So what we then asked them to do was to write down the information that they were primarily looking for when they were in the researching phase about a school before they actually made contact with the school themselves. And to quickly run through it, what they were looking for was school contact details, to see if the school had a website. They'd expect most of the information to be there. Information about the services, service hours, and the school calendar, whether it was going to be sessional or all year round. The address and location details, because if the school was going to be too far away from them, it was going to be impractical, so they wanted to know how far it was going to be to the school. The prices of the services, whether the services took government grants such as the ECC and the NCS, what the applications process was for that school, was there availability of places in that setting, was there any reviews online that they could read, other parents' experiences with that school, what age of children were accepted at that school, is there any photos of the school so that they could see what facilities were there for the children. Teacher profiles, and we know from our own analytics for websites that we've done for schools, it's really important to have teacher profiles on your website if you have one. Can they visit the school to have a look around? Who do they get in contact if they're going to call or email or fill in the contact form for a school? the school curriculum, whether it's Montessori based, whether it's play based. Is it a good school? Was one of the simpler questions that they asked, and whether there was a Facebook page link there. They looked them up on Facebook as well. So what we can look at is a couple of before and afters for schools that we have worked with, and then we'll go and we'll look at the listings in real life. But these are some real case scenarios whereby we worked with these schools and helped them to improve their listings. It'll also give you a good insight into just how much traffic can come from a Google listing. So Mullingar Montessori, we started working with them at the end of December 2018. The issue they had was now Google tries to create a listing and a profile for you on Google, even if you don't proactively go and get this done. But back then they didn't, so it was often the case you could type in the name of a school and nothing would appear up other than other schools in the area. And that was the case for Mullingar Montessori. They had a Facebook page. It didn't always appear up if you typed in their name into Google, so they were missing out on potential enrollments. And our first task when we went to create a website for them was to do their Google listing first. So now every month from parents and the school gets phone inquiries, emails, website visits, enrollment applications, and summer camp booking and payments, all on the back of the school being looked up on Google. So this is 1 month typical results for June 2022. They had 377 visits to their website that came from Google. They had 49 phone calls that came from Google and 83 requests for view of their location on Google Maps. They would get more in June than normal because their summer camp would be coming up and they'd have people coming who wouldn't know where the school is located. It's also important because the school is located out on the edge of town, because they're on a country road out on the edge of Mullingar, they don't have a lot of passive traffic or signage or anything like that to promote the school. So before the listing, they had no school contact details listed, no website listed on Google, no Google Maps listing. The Facebook page often didn't appear up. Other schools showed in the results instead, and they had no Google business profile. And after the listing, you'll see here that all the contact details are there. Their website was top the listings. They were top ranked on Google Maps. Their Facebook was listed all over Google. Links to photo galleries, appointment page, Google Street View, and 100% Google complete Google business profile. So this is what their listing looked like before. This was a screenshot I took back in 2018. If you typed in Mullingar Montessori, all that came up was other schools and other schools' Facebook pages, things like that. So they would get a lot of referrals, but if parents went to Google, they would find them there. And plus as well, if a parent went and typed in something like preschools in Mullingar or summer camps in Mullingar, all the other schools would appear up except for them. And now if you go to Google, you'll see that I've highlighted here, and we look at this too in real life, that they're all over the page, with their website up here, their Facebook underneath, and on the right here, this is what we call the knowledge panel. When we do a professional Google profile listing for a school, this is all the information that we add to it, and we look at that in more detail. But there's images, there's school hours, there's contact details linked to the website, full details of all their services, a description of the school, recent events coming up, linked to their Facebook page. They won't miss out on anything there. The second school here then, and this is an important one for schools who have more than one location. So this was Horizons Montessori. We started working with them in 2015. Now they already had a partial Google listing for one of their schools, for Templeogue, but they had no listing for the school in Terenure. So anybody looking up the services for the Terenure school wouldn't find anything there about Terenure. So again, they were missing out on potential inquiries with the same types of details there. And 1 month typical results. So the stats we have for them for June 22, they got 663 visits to their website in June from parents who looked up their school on Google, or who looked up the services that they might provide in the area and found their school listed among others there and clicked through to their website. They got 62 phone calls that came directly from Google and 324 requests to look at directions in the month of June. Also, their summer camp was starting. They'd have a lot of people coming to their school who'd never been there before. So here you can see now that they have 2 fully complete listings. This is the Templeogue one, again similar to what we saw for Mullingar. complete listings of information. We're going to look at this live in a moment as well. And then here's the listing for Terenure. So the learning here for any school is that if you have 2 locations or 4 locations or 10 locations, you need to have a Google Business Profile for each one. So they each need to have a separate Google Business Profile listing. You can't have one listing and think it's going to cover 2 schools or 4 branches or 6 locations. They all should have their each separate one there. So finally we have the Lodge Montessori. So this is a much smaller school than the previous ones. It's a sessional school in Knocklyon in Dublin, and the issue that the Lodge had when they came and started to work with us was that there's another school in their area with a very similar sounding name. So if you didn't type in exactly the name of this school, and even sometimes if you did type in the exact name of the school into Google, sometimes this school in question appeared down below a competing school in the same area. So that was obviously something that was causing some issues. So our first task was to optimize their existing Google profile. So they already had set up a Google profile, but it wasn't complete and it needed optimizing. Second, we created them a new website to help with their Google rankings. And thirdly, we changed the setting in their Facebook page, which was stopping their Facebook from appearing up in Google search. And since then, every month they're getting phone inquiries, emails, website visits and enrollment applications on the back of it. So 1 year results for them, the first full year we have spent with them was 2021. They had 1,560 visits to their website that came from Google. They had 108 phone calls and they had 321 requests for directions. So before the listing, they had no school business profile panel appearing. Their school was ranking number 2 in the map behind a similar named school all the time. Their school Google website was listed below this other school. So they actually also had a website which is like a free website that you can get from Google, and we'll look at that towards the end of the video as well, but it wasn't ranking that well for them. They had no Facebook page listed, they had no contact details or school information on view, so it was an incomplete, unoptimized Google business profile. So this part of the image here was the only place that they were listed here, number 2 in the map, behind another school that sounded quite similar to them. Another school was ranking ahead of them here for their website in terms of that. So that was definitely not ideal. So after the work we did with them, now if you look them up on Google, this is what you get. So a complete transformation. Here's their new website appearing up the top listing, this large box of information here with links to their Facebook profile and videos on Facebook is all coming from Facebook. This is their old Google free website down here, and on the right hand side you'll see all the extensive list of services, updates, contact information, images, all the information about the school is here. So at the end of the video we'll talk about a free consultation we offer to people if you want to get in touch with us. But what we'll skip on to now is where does all this information go. So if you want to do this yourself, if you don't have a budget in your school, then it is a free service from Google, but I suppose it's free in the fact that it's free, like you could take a course on servicing your own car, but I wouldn't advise it kind of thing. I'm 10 years at this or whatever, it takes a lot of time. You need to be very technical and you need to be very good with computers and software and Google interfaces to get this right. But if you have zero budget, what I would do is say yes, have a crack off it yourself. Go to Google and the address you go to is google.com/business, and this is the page that will open. Click the blue buttons and start off there, and during the process then what you'll do is you will request that your business be verified. So when you do a Google business profile, you have to verify the listing, otherwise the information will never appear up. And what you will do is you will be getting you request a postcard from Google or a letter from Google. So it might appear in postcard form and it will have a little Google symbol like this, and it will look like that, and within it it will have a code like this when you open it, and that code is what you will enter into your Google business profile to verify your school actually exists, and that will allow Google to then put up information, or they'll send you a letter in an envelope that will look like this, and it'll have Google up in the top of it. And when you open the letter, you'll have Google branding on top, and again you'll have a code there, and you'll enter that code to verify that location. So if you have multiple locations, you request multiple letters, and this is the site for it, and this is where you would go and do all the information. But would I do it? If you've no budget, you will have to do it this way, and it just is really time consuming. I'd advise you to do some learning online first. There are videos and there are courses online to teach you how to do a Google business profile, but they don't teach you everything. If you have the budget for it, I would get someone else to do it, because it'll just eat up so much of your life trying to do it and drive you insane in the process. So here's a simple way to start off, I suppose. I am originally from Mill Street in County Cork, and there are 2 preschools in Mill Street currently as we make this video. So one is called Curious Minds and the other is called Little Treasures. We'll have a look at these first, and the reason we're going to have a look at these is because when I looked them up, neither of them have a website, and neither of them have a Google business profile that has been claimed and populated. So it gives you a good idea of what that looks like, and then we'll go and we'll look at some schools that I have done Google business profiles for, and you'll see the difference between the two. So if I went to Google and I typed in preschools in Mill Street, Cork, this is what it will bring up. Let me just bring up a highlighter here. So up here we type in preschools in Mill Street, Cork. The first thing that comes up in Google is these are some directory listings or Facebook listings here. And then after that, then what you'll get is the map pack. And the map pack here is that Google will bring you up results from Google Maps. So anytime you put anything into a Google search that mentions an area such as Mill Street in Cork, generally what you'll get is the results will be split into 2. So you'll get this part of the results and they will be fed from Google Maps, and then down below it here you will get the regular Google results underneath them. So in the Google Maps listing here for preschools in Mill Street, Cork, what we find is neither of the 2 preschools are listed here, and that is because Google can't say for sure exactly what those listings are, or it's just not fully aware of them. So what's listed instead is Mill Street Daycare Centre. Daycare can relate to a senior citizens type daycare centre like this one is here in this case, or it could be like full daycare that you'd have for children. So that's why Google has got a bit confused here and listed that under preschools. Then you have Mill Street Community School, because it knows it's a school in Mill Street, so it's just throwing a school in there when it doesn't have more accurate listings to do so. And then it has an Alanav preschool here. That's a preschool in Mccaul, and that's 13 miles away from Mill Street. So what you get underneath that then, you'll get a bunch of directory listings usually. Here's a directory listing for Curious Minds. Here is a Facebook page for Mill Street Day Centre. Then what you'll get is some blog posts or mentions on local websites and things like that here. And this is actually one that may be of interest to show just how complicated things can start to get. So if we click on this millstreet.ie one, so millstreet.ie is a local website in Mill Street, and here is a blog post from 2018, and it's about Curious Minds and saying that there's places available and things like that. It's talking here about pricing, and after school can be free for qualifying children, and it says here for more details see affordablechildcare.ie to see how it applies to you. So if we go and we click on affordablechildcare.ie, what happens is that they've somehow got the links mixed up on that website, and it opens a preschool here in Bolton in England and stuff, and it's obviously just not ideal. Then there is another link down here. It says PM for details to contact us, and when you click that, it goes to Facebook, but it's the it might be an old Facebook page that they may have had or whatever, but it's not able to be found on Facebook anymore. So this kind of just highlights that having a Google listing would bypass any of these types of issues happening. So there are actually people who are going to Google and they're looking up for those two schools by name, and you might say, well, how do you know that, or how could you prove that? If you just skip down to the bottom of any page in Google, you'll find a section here called related searches, or it'll often be called people also search for, and they'll put up things that are popular searches that are taking place. So under related searches here, it says Curious Minds Mill Street, Little Treasures Mill Street, Primary Schools in Cork, and Mill Street Cork. So that means that people are searching for the school name and for the town name. So what I did then was I went and I put those into Google. So I'll show you that in a second. What I just wanted to show you here was that if you search for Creche Mill Street Cork, you get the same issue here with none of the schools appearing up. If you search for After School Mill Street Cork, the same set of issues here, none of the schools appearing up. Summer Camp Mill Street Cork, it starts listing other summer camps that are on in the area, even though I know at least one of these schools runs a school. And if you search in the map listings here as well, Preschool Mill Street Cork, you get the same three results we had in the other one. And what you can do then is, if you keep scrolling down, do we get any of the schools listed here? I don't see them. So it's not ideal. So if you skip then over to the searches that Google said were taking place, we typed in the words exactly like that. So Curious Minds Mill Street, we typed that in here, and the first thing that appears up here then is their Facebook page. So that's a step in the right direction anyway. They don't have a website, but they have a Facebook page, and if you clicked into their Facebook page, then you should be able to get contact details for the school there, and you'll see here's an email address for them, and here's a mobile number for them, and some details there. So that's how somebody would get in contact with them. And it's great to have a Facebook page. If you've watched any of my other videos about marketing for early years settings in Ireland, what I will outline is that a Facebook page is great for somebody to have a look at the activities that are going on in the school, and the types of stuff that takes place in the curriculum and stuff, but it's not good in terms of all the, let's say, previous information that we looked at here, in terms of the information that a parent is actually looking for when they want to go and research a school. So all the contact information, all the service details, the photographs, the applications process, the places availability, parent reviews, the school curriculum, their school website link, all that information, you're not going to find that on a Facebook page. So that's where a Facebook page is not ideal then in terms of that. So the rest of the listings along here, let me bring back up this highlighter again. So this is their Facebook page up here, and then this is a directory listing. Here is another directory listing. Here is a listing for them on that Mill Street website, another directory listing, another directory listing. You just don't have much control over the other information that's appearing here unless you go and claim all those listings individually. But over here on the right hand side then, Google has attempted to put together some information about the school, and this here on the right is called the knowledge panel, and this is always directly populated from the information that you put onto the Google Business Profile platform for your school. So what it has here is, it'll usually have three things up in the top here. It'll normally have photographs here in this part here on the left hand side, but because it doesn't have any photographs for the school, it's just using Google Street View here, and on the right then it'll have a listing to where it thinks that the school is located on Google Maps. So if the first thing that we do is we click into the see outside to go to Google Street View, this is what it will bring up here on the listing. So we would need to just navigate past it a little bit to get out of the way of that truck, and this actually is Curious Minds preschool in Mill Street. So you get a look at the outside of it there. This would bring you into Google Maps, where it thinks that the preschool is located, and you will see that it is just located back here on the map. And then the rest of this information here would be information that you would populate if you had a Google Business Profile. So if you don't have a Google Business Profile, the address here will be something that Google thinks you are. So Drumsaccan Wood, Mill Street, County Cork. Drumsaccan Wood is not the correct address. I won't bore you with the details into why it says Drumsaccan Wood, but that would have been the name of that area before this was all developed, and it was an actual wood 50 or 60 years ago, before it became the buildings and developed as it is. And then all the rest of the information here is empty because no information has been submitted to Google first. So we'll take a look at the other school in Mill Street. The other school is called Little Treasures. The first thing they've got up here is the Facebook page. So that's good again. That's the first thing that's going to appear up here. And then all the rest of them then are going to be directory listings here underneath it. So if we go to their Facebook page, let me just bring up the links here, and we'll open their Facebook page. And what we'll be hoping is that we'll find a phone number or something for them in here. But the Facebook page that it opens, I don't know if they have a more up-to-date one than this, but it's more of a location issue. So what's going on here is that I'm not 100% sure, but I think that there's more than one Little Treasures. So there's definitely Little Treasures in Mill Street, and there's also a Little Treasures in Newmarket, which is a town, I don't know, maybe it's about 10 miles away. And I'm assuming they're owned by the same person and they're just different locations of the same group. But there was only 2 posts ever put up on this Facebook page here, and they were in 2018. So if I click on the about information here, it's not bringing up anything. So that Facebook page, oh sorry, we do have a phone number over here, 926-2842. The issue is when I've looked this up before, it conflicts with this phone number here, which is 982-9780. So the confusion here is because on the right hand side here, what we've got is a knowledge panel, and this has been populated with information about Little Treasures, but we're looking up Little Treasures Mill Street over here, and we're getting information for Little Treasures in the market on the right hand side, and that's where it can get confusing. So I assume if I ring this number here, it'll be answered by somebody in the Newmarket school when I am looking for information on the Mill Street school, and that's just what you can be faced. Some other examples of things I've found when I've looked up a lot of schools. I looked up Step by Step Preschool in Rockchapel, among hundreds of others, and when I looked up this one, Google started listing all the different schools that it knew were called Step by Step, rather than just directly listing that one. This school could overcome it by getting a Google Business Profile set up for themselves, and then when somebody would Google Step by Step Preschool Rockchapel, it would bring up a listing just for that school here, and it wouldn't be listing the other ones. It'll look like ones that we'll see here in a moment. This is Cottage Childcare Kilvullen. You type them in, and what you see here is that over on the right hand side, where we had a panel for other schools, nothing appears here, so it's not guaranteed that they'll always generate a knowledge panel here on the right hand side with details about your school. This one then, Cottage Childcare Kilvullen phone number. When I went to look up their phone number, Google then displays a phone number here, but the phone number is actually for a different school, the school that's featured here on the right hand side, and it's actually for the old schoolhouse childcare facility, which is in Knocklyon in County Cork, which is a completely different school altogether. This is a school in East Cork, and when I looked up their listing on Google, there was some information here about them, but the problem is that their school has been marked as temporarily closed here. There can be a variety of reasons for that, but if your school isn't temporarily closed, or you never want it to be marked temporarily closed, this is the worst case scenario you can have appear up on Google, because as a parent, I'm now wondering, is this school that's been recommended to me open at all, or is it the wrong school that I've looked up? And this isn't an isolated case, it's quite a common thing. And here we have another school that's marked as temporarily closed here. This is another school in Cork, and this is how it would look on a mobile. You'll see it's marked temporarily closed along here. And you might say, how does a school end up being marked as temporarily closed? You can do this yourself in your own Google profile listing. somebody else could edit your listing. A member of the public can do it. So once you create one of these things, you want to check it like once a month, and we do that for our clients to make sure nobody is changing the information to something it shouldn't be. But you can mark businesses as temporarily closed or even permanently closed on Google, even if you don't own the listing. So you got to keep an eye on these things and keep them up to date. You could have a school that's closed during the summer if they're a sessional school, and maybe they have marked themselves as temporarily closed during the summer. If somebody was asking me, should you or shouldn't you do that? Definitely no, you should not do that. You always want to appear as open. If they contact you in contact details, you can have an autoresponder on an email, or you can have a message on an answering machine that you can ask people to send you an email instead that you're closed for the summer. But you don't ever want to stop people from getting in touch with you in the first place. So when you go and look up your school, it's important to look it up to see exactly what kind of information Google is giving to parents about your school. So what should it look like? So this is going to be Mullingar Montessori. So this is one of the schools we looked at earlier, and you'll see auto suggests and things coming in at times when you're doing Google searches. So if I brought this over here, and let's say we were going to look for Mullingar Montessori. So you start typing in Mullingar Montessori because this is the school that has been recommended to you, and you'll get these auto suggests here then underneath as you're typing in, whether it be on a mobile device or whether it be on a desktop. And when you have a Google business profile listing done correctly, you will appear up here in the auto suggest. So you don't even have to keep typing. You can just tap on this here and it'll bring up your listing in full. So if you didn't tap there and you just pressed return, what Google will do in this case is it'll treat Mullingar Montessori, even though this is the name of the school, because it has a place name and it has a type of school in its name or whatever, then Google will often treat that as a search query rather than somebody searching for the specific school. So what will happen then is that Google will bring up a list of schools in Mullingar in the search results, and it'll bring up the map pack like it has done here. And in the map pack, because we've done a website for them and a lot of optimization, they are the first school that appears up here for not only this search term but like about 10 other search terms relating to school services in Mullingar. And this is really important. Their website link is listed here as well, because somebody's looking up your school. If your school profile doesn't appear up and take over the whole page, you want to make sure that you're at the top of the rankings in the map pack. And then underneath in the regular Google listings, their website takes up a huge chunk of the page here underneath that then. So this is the new website that we did for them, and it's giving you links to 5 different pages on that website here in that. And then this is their Facebook page, and their images being pulled in from that here in this section here. This is their Facebook page then. Then underneath are other schools. But when we have been searching in Google, activate this again, and if we had clicked on the listing as had appeared up with the image beside it here, this is their full Google listing then. So this is ideally what you want to happen when somebody comes and your school gets a referral, that parent comes to Google. This is the type of rich results that you want to appear here. So let me turn on the highlighter here and I'll show you exactly what's going on. So Mullingar Montessori and the Den is the name of the school. All these links here all link to their website. So you click any of this and it'll bring you off to the website that we built for them. Then underneath here, both these listings here are for their Facebook. One is for their Facebook post listing and one is for their Facebook post profile. And then underneath then there are directory listings for the school. And then there are videos relating to the school, and these are being pulled in from Facebook as well. On the right hand side here then is the knowledge panel, and this is all the information then that is populated from the Google business profile that we did for them. So you click on here and you'll get photos of the school. Let me just open this up here again. So these would be various images that, oh sorry about that, I clicked on a link I shouldn't have, that we have. I did these photographs for the school, and these are various images from the website and from the Facebook page that are being pulled in by Google. And it's important that you want all these images to actually be of your school. So when we click back out of those and we go back out to the listing, how the listing is made up here, because we have submitted photos to it. You remember on the previous listings there wasn't photos of the other schools in the street, and you see that you get a full set of photos here. Here it'll bring you through to Google Maps, and here it'll bring you through to Google Street View. You get the name of the school here then with its logo, then a button to open their website, directions, save, and to call the school. Click the button to open their website and it'll open the website that we built for their school. All the details that covers everything that parents would have asked for when we looked at the kind of details and information that you had previously out there. Then their school category is here. It's really important for their ranking. Their school address, then their school hours opens up in this drop down here. So the Monday to Friday hours, 7:45 a.m. to 6:15 p.m. Their phone number here, you click that and it'll call them. Appointments here. So if you have a website that has a separate page for appointments on it, you click this link here and it'll open up that page. So this page here is the book a visit page on the website we built for them, and you can come directly to this page here, fill in your details, click what services you're interested in, when you want to come and visit the school, send that off. It'll email the school. It'll also send an email to the parent confirming their book a visit application, and the school will get back to them and they'll meet up and give them a tour of the school. So here then are the products part. So this is the good bit, because when you fill in these listings professionally, you can get all the information about the services for your school onto your Google listing. So somebody will get all the information even if you don't have a website. So I'm going to click on this first product here, and this is the Breakfast Club, and it's got the information about it here, what time it opens at, then children have breakfast, they have relaxing time, then we drive them to primary school, the buses depart at 8:15 and 8:30 and drop them off at national school here and things. You click this learn more button then, and as soon as I click this learn more button, it is going to bring me off to the website, to the Breakfast Club page, which is the service page on their website that we built for them, and has all the information here all about their Breakfast Club on it. You'd have no learn more button there if you didn't have a website with all the information on it and things, but just to let you know that that's an option if you do have a website. You click in here and it'll give you all the information about, let's go to the summer camp one, and then our summer camp runs for kids, half day option, full day option, the pricing, all the facilities that they have during it. Here's all the activities that take place during summer camp, and you click the learn more button, and you've probably guessed by now this is going to open their summer camp page on their website, and it gives you all the information about summer camp, the junior and senior camp, all the different weeks, the dates that it's on, photo gallery for the camp, all the information. You can go to their website directly and you'll see all that there. In products, you click the view all button here. There's the summer camp information, half day preschool, all the information about that. Then there is their after school care in the den, all the information about that. Then there's their full day care program, all the information about that. So everything is covered here. Summer camp, after school care, their creche for 2 to 3 year olds, all the information about then, the times of the service. Click more button, that'll bring you off to the website as well. So you can see the breadth of information that you can end up storing here on Google. So while it's not as good as having a website with all this information on it, it is the next best thing, and it's something to supplement website information with as well if you already do have one. So underneath then is reviews from the web. There's reviews from Facebook there. Then you get to populate this information here, about 700 characters that we wrote for them. Describes all about the school, when it was founded, the services that they do, and then down here then you can have these updates, and this update here is from their summer camp, and it's showing that the kids are having a great time at the moment. There's still a few places that can be booked, and things. It's 8 weeks long, it's ongoing at the moment. Gives a description about it, half day and full day, then the list of dates for all the weeks, and if you click learn more here, that'll open the summer camp page. The next one then was when the Easter Bunny came to the school. It's just shows the extent to all the trouble they go to in the school to celebrate all the special times during the year. Clicking learn more then will tell you all about it'll actually bring you off to the website for that one. And then this is one for Halloween, and it shows you all the great pictures from Halloween with the children all dressed up, and outside with the Halloween witch and all the treats they're about to get inside one of the classrooms and things. And again, all the information with that, and encouraging you to go and visit the website for more details. Then if you don't want to see parent reviews like you had parents mentioning earlier, you can have your parent reviews up here. And what's important is that as parents are reviewing the school, that the school responds to them as well. Looks very professional, and exactly what parents want to see in relation to it. And then a link off to the profile page. So you can see that it's a world apart from not having your information up on Google, and just as important here when you have it, that you have this type of information on a mobile listing as well. So if you went and you looked up the school on a mobile listing, in the example I'm going to show here, this is the listing as it appears up if only the school appears up for their listing, and it's just presented in a slightly different way on mobile. So you have the name of the school here, and you have these tabs across the top here. If you don't use the tabs, it gives you all the information you need: a call button, a directions button for the maps, a website button. You just click this website button and it will open the school website directly in here, where you go and get any of the information that you're looking for. We'll just back button here now. The address for the school, all the school hours here, phone number to click for the school. Then this is the school website link here, and then these are 6 of the pages there that you can open up: the About Us page, that's their after school page, their Montessori page, their creche page, their testimonials page. This is a link to their Facebook. These are linked to their images. These are the products that we talked about. So when you click on one of the products, you can see that the image appears up here. That Learn More button will open the Breakfast Club page on the website here in a moment. And there you see is the Breakfast Club page as we were talking about here earlier. You go back out here and you go down and you see that there are the other services. Then we click into the summer camp one. Here on mobile, you can see everything resizes perfectly on the mobile. Here's their creche service. Here's their after school service. A few more will just list all their different services that are here. So you click back twice on this one. Okay, it's going through the services, and we'll get back out to here, and then you have various listings, and then the updates that we talked about. This one was the one about their summer camp, and you scroll through the images here, so you can see a massive presence on mobile and desktop when somebody is looking up the services there. So it can be a little bit different then if you were to type in here Mullingar Montessori. So again, you can see it will pre-populate and it will automatically bring them up, and it will open the listing that we just saw. But instead, if I just press return and it opens up like this way, you'll see that it's showing all the schools that it's finding related to Montessori and Mullingar. And obviously the one that we want here, Mullingar Montessori in the Den, is number 1 on the map listing. And if I click on that map listing, you will see then that it's opening up the same type of information but in a different type of format here. Again, the school is taking over all the information here, but instead it puts images of the school up along the top, and these are images that are submitted by the school and by parents publicly on the profile, but it just shows the importance of having good imagery submitted to Google in relation to those. So the same thing then for Horizons Terenure and for Horizons in Templeogue. So you can see that there are 2 different listings here for their different schools. So let me just drag this one over here so I know I've got stuff in the correct order. So this will be Horizons Templeogue, and you see here they've got their website appearing up first here, then their Facebook page, and then lots of different directory listings for them. But again, over here on the right hand side we've got the knowledge panel with all their photographs, the location to see outside, all the same type of information, but all fully done here. Again, we have the products again, full-time Montessori, learn more here will open the website for you, and then the part-time Montessori, learn more here will open that page on the website. We click the button here and it will open the website that we built for them. And all the information is here that somebody would need for everything that the parents are going to be looking for, inquiries for enrollments, and how they collect all their applications on it here as well. So very professional looking presence. Again, address, their opening hours, their products are listed here. Their summer camp is ongoing at the moment, so I put up a post about their summer camp and that appears up here on Google. See the kids all having a great time, and you can of course click to learn more, and when you click to learn more it'll open up their website here. And if we click over into the summer camp, then all the details for their summer camp are here on the website. The pricing, click through to their application form, photo gallery, the details of what's happening all the weeks, a video, summer camp, parent testimonials, etc. So superb information all around for parents who are looking for these details. Google reviews, Facebook profile, everything here is covered off. This is one for Templeogue, this is one for Terenure, and you can see different photos, different information down here, different products. They've got an ECC a class in the mornings. They have a summer camp here during the summer, and their main focus here is on their after school care, which is 10 months and 12 months of the year, and they have this after school care running even when schools are closed. Again, their summer camp update is here, so you can see that when you look them up, this is all appearing. So what I also wanted to show you here is that if you were to type in something like Horizon Summer Camp Terenure, so you're still looking for the school, but you're looking for a specific service within the school, it opens up the page here on their website that links directly to their summer camp page and to a blog post about their summer camp on their website here. And again, the knowledge panel opens here on the right. And if you were to look up just even, I'm not sure, I hope this works out now live on a video, if you look up summer camps Terenure, without mentioning the name of the school, the first one up here in the map pack for summer camps in that area is Horizons After School Care and Summer Camp in Terenure, and that's the value that it brings. Here's how it looks on a mobile for Templeogue and Terenure in relation to that. And then this is the Lodge Montessori, and if you remember, this was the school that has another school in the area that sounds just like it name wise. And now a third school has opened up in that area that actually has the word lodge in its address as well, which you'd see on detailed on the case study video we've done for this school. But now when you look them up, it's the same type thing. If I just typed in the Lodge Montessori, you'd see that it'll pre-populate here with this listing with an image, and all the same types of listings and information here. This is their website. New website with different. This was their old free Google website. So when you create a Google business profile, at the end of it you get the option that Google will give you a free one-page website, and that's the one that's listed here, and we'll be looking at that at the end here. And it's an option that when you get the service done with us, we can add this on at the end if you don't have a website and things. That's what you can get too. And on the right hand side here, all the information that we had there as well. They're a sessional preschool, so this is their morning details about their ECC class. This is the afternoon details about their ECC class, and then these were some posts I put up for them. One here was about their recent graduation day, so I just went to Facebook and got the information that they put up there, and I brought that into Google. Then this was one about a solar systems performance that they had. The parents came in and watched performance to put on all about the solar system, and then the school had done one earlier about having the dentist corner in the school. And this is how it looks again on mobile, so I think you've got enough of a picture about it at this stage. So you can see then that the Google business profile listing will help a lot when somebody looks up the name of your school, but you will need a website as well, if you're in a competitive market against other schools and you want to appear up when somebody searches for services in your location, when they're not specifically looking for your school, but you still want your school to appear up. This is the Lodge Montessori website that we did for them here as well. And what you'll see then is this is the free website from Google that you can generate once you have completed your Google business profile. It's functional. It's a one-page website. What they do is they'll allow you to have a headline here. Sorry, talking too much. They'll have a sub-headline. You can put a main image here. If you've been doing updates in your Google business profile, they'll appear here. You can't stop them from appearing even if you wanted to. So once you start doing posts, as they're called, these posts are going to appear here. When you click them, this is how they will appear up. I'll just give you this cookie notice, and testimonials then will come directly from Google. This then I put into their old website because I'm linking off to their new website with all these different links. So if you click this link, what it's actually going to do is open up their new website, because it's just more professional, and it gives you all the details about their Montessori service, the ECC scheme, their calendar, their parent testimonials, all those types of things are in here. But this is an option, and it can be tacked on to the end of the Google listing service. It'll then display whatever the most recent 9 photos that you have uploaded to Google as a gallery here, a Google map, a call now button to get directions, and your hours. So it's fine. It's better than having no website, but we have other options that we could provide you with. If you didn't want to go for a large multi-page website like you'd see here for Horizons and the Lodge and Mullingar, and the Lodge could have been a smaller website, but we had to build them a fairly significant one so that they would outrank the other school that had the same type name as them. If they didn't have that issue, they could have just gone with a one-page website. So what we've done is we have created these demo one-page websites, and this is kind of a very good solution if you don't want a multi-page website, you want something more affordable. We have created these templates to show you exactly what your site would look like. We will fill your details and your photographs in here, and it covers everything that somebody would want to know about your school, all the service information, testimonials, the teachers in the school, the ECC scheme details, the application form for the schools can be as long or short as you want, the calendars for the different services that you'll have in your school, links out to PDFs for those calendars that can be downloaded, and all the contact information that you would want for the school as well. These are available in a variety of different colours. Yeah, we have these one-pagers, whether you have a sessional setting or whether you have a multi-service setting, different types of designs. See here the more extensive teacher information, ECC scheme details, different type of application form, different type of calendar and stuff. So there's lots of different types of solutions, and this is how the one-page website that we do would look on a mobile. So what we've got is you click on any of these here and they'll bring you to that various section. Everything resizes perfectly for mobile, and you have these buttons on the bottom here. Click the contact us button and it'll bring you down to the contact details down on the bottom, and if you click the applications button it'll bring you up to the applications form. You click the menu button here on top, which stays visible continuously throughout scrolling through the site, and you click on any of these images here and it'll bring you to that part of the site. You want to click to the gallery, it'll bring you here to the gallery, and you click all through the gallery images. Click back to the menu button. Want to see the teachers, it'll bring you down through the teachers part. Click back to the menu button. If you want to find out about the ECC details, it'll give you all the details about the scheme here and the dates that you can have for that. So that pretty much covers everything that we wanted to go through. So I think it's so important, because if your school gets lots of referrals from your existing parents, you can see that it can be critically important that your information is displayed correctly on it. So what we have is a free consultation if you want to get in touch with us. you can have a chat with me. We can do it either over the phone, or I'll just bring back up our website details here as well. We can do it over the phone. You can call to our offices here, and we can meet in the boardroom. We can do a Skype call or a Zoom call, whatever suits you best. If your school is nearby, I could call to your school, and we can do a 30-minute free consultation, just run through what you're looking to do, what you're hoping to achieve, whether it's a Google listing, whether it's a small website, whether it's Facebook ads, whether you need more applications, whether you're trying to fill spare capacity in the school, whether you're trying to laser target more in on the people who are getting in touch with you to your school. If you're getting too many applications from people who are looking for a creche when that's not what you do, the more information that you have online, the more targeted the applications are that come in, and less of your time that gets taken up in relation to it. So thank you very much for going through this. If you have any questions, you can go to our website directly, and you can just go to the contact page, fill in the contact form, give us a phone call. You can drop us an email or whatever suits you best. We'd love to hear from you. My favourite part of the job is chatting to school owners, because there's a unique case in every school in terms of what they want to develop and what they want help with. When you get in contact with us, you'll be talking to me. There'll be no pushy sales stuff. No pressure put on you to purchase anything. The 30 minutes is completely for you to get answers to any questions that you might have about online marketing for your earlier setting. And I'll just be asking you questions about your school, so I can get a better understanding of your unique school and your situation, what you're trying to achieve. And it's more of an informal chat than anything else. So don't ever worry about getting in touch that you'll be put under pressure for that. That's not the way we operate, and we're not interested in that sort of stuff. If at the end of the information we give you, if there is something that you feel like you want to talk more about or whatever, we can make a further appointment after that. Or if you want to proceed with something, that's fine. Or if you don't, that's perfectly fine too in years to come. If you need something done, hopefully you'll remember us anyway, and that's it. So that's it. Google listings, really important. If you're not using us, then good luck with putting them together yourself or whatever. But whether you use us or do it yourself or whatever, definitely I couldn't recommend highly enough to go and do it, because they definitely make a big difference to your business. Thanks very much for listening, and we look forward to talking to you in the near future. Bye bye.